Search and rescue expert Roy Davidson seems to be being led by fate to a certain point in the mountains.
I had no intention of being in that area whatsoever. I changed my plans 5 times to end up where I was. When I got down into the bottom of the valley, that's where I changed my mind again.
Oscar, come on, come on.
I just looked over and I saw the quad. And it looked like somebody underneath it.
Oscar, come on.
I'm on search and rescue, and about a year earlier we'd had a search. We'd been looking for a missing hunter on a quad. We found this fellow, and he was underneath the quad, and he was dead.
Oscar, 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 Oscar.
It was exactly the same scene. I figured there was probably somebody pinned under there that was probably dead.
I heard something, and is my mind playing tricks on me, or is this real?
Are you all right?
Did I go to sleep? Am I dreaming, or? I thought I was seeing things. I thought I was hallucinating. I said, oh boy, you know, this is getting really severe. Is it real?
What's your name?
Can't hit the only man.
I felt blessed. I felt lucky to be alive. I don't have to say goodbye to my family. The relief of like when they lifted the quad off of me, it was fantastic. You know, I just can't describe how great it felt.
I heard voices yelling. And all of a sudden, this man appears out of the jungle.
Are you all right?
Over here! Over here!
You're safe now.
An army of Red Cross volunteers has been combing the area for 24 hours and has finally found the crash site.
I just started crying, and it was the most emotional period. I couldn't believe it.
What was that?
For the others, believing they're lost forever, a miraculous stroke of luck saves their lives.
Just like in Indiana Jones, the guy comes through the fields and he has a machete and a backpack.
Against all odds, a local farmer and member of the search team literally stumbles upon them.
It was the most incredible feeling I've ever had. It was just pure joy.
This dog was on a mission, so it's almost as if it ran around and say, hey, look at me, I'm gonna get everybody's attention. Now I'll show you where she's at.
Where is he going?
All of a sudden, down in the bottom of the canyon, the dog reappears and headed back up the Amasaback Trail. So I get on the radio and I radio over to the vehicles heading up the trail.
1T812 to 1T836. Hey, Bago, looks like the dog's coming your direction. Let him pass. Let's see where he's going.
I'm looking over my shoulder, and sure enough, Taz appears and takes off up over the hill. I'm going, you know, I think I should follow Taz for about 5 minutes just to see.
Okay, dog. Let's see what you know.
Time is running out. As nightfall approaches, a new threat to the rescue operation has emerged. Heavy snowfall is forecast, which Donnell couldn't hope to survive. Following Taz may now be the last chance of finding Donnell alive. Experienced mountain tracker Bego Gerhardt knows that Donnell's dog could be her only real hope of survival.
I know to pay attention to dogs because they know stuff. So when he ran up over the hillside, I had a very strong feeling of I better follow him for a few minutes.
As Taz leads Bego deeper into the canyon, the going becomes more treacherous. Bego must slow the ATV and risk losing the dog's trail. Donnell has no way of knowing that Taz has found help. She is resigned to dying out in the open. But when he returns, Donnell senses a change in his behavior.
Next thing you know, Taz came up, and he came right by me, and he went straight to the puddle, and he started drinking from my puddle. I remember thinking, that's my lifeline, that's the only water I got. Can't you find a different puddle, Taz? But I couldn't, I couldn't say that to him, and I just pet him a few times and let him drink from the puddle. And his demeanor had changed a little bit. He had seemed to get a little bit of energy back. And then he licked my face again, and he was kind of wagging his tail a little bit, and it was sad for me to see this happy little dog that I was never gonna be with. At the same time, I heard this other sound. I wasn't hopeful because I'd been screaming help for 50 some hours straight, and nobody had come to help me.
Help! And just about the time I thought I was going to run out of road, I heard this blood-curdling scream. Help! I'll never forget it. And had to be Donnell.
I can't move! The sound got closer, and the engine cut out, and I start begging, desperate begging for help, explaining that I'm hurt, telling this person, you cannot leave, I need help, I need help.
Help, help, please help me.
It was the best moment of my life, because I knew right then that I was going to get a second chance. I knew I was going to make it.
And it was quite emotional, because not very often do you go on a rescue where somebody's life is really quite on the edge. The look on her face was one of relief. And then the tears came.
Next thing he said to me was, you got one good dog. And I just started crying. I just laid there and started crying.
I don't think any human could have survived another night in those temperatures.
Taz's extraordinary bond with Donnell has saved her life. Back at the ranger station, the authorities call off the search for the women's bodies. But Sonia's sister Nikki can't bring herself to leave.
Your heart aches, it breaks that your younger sister, your little sister, has gone out and isn't going to return.
One of the helicopter pilots takes pity on Nikki. He offers to give her a ride over the wilderness that claimed Sonia, to say goodbye to her sister. The women prepare to climb. They haven't slept in 10 days. and they can barely feel their infected, frost-bitten feet.
My feet were swollen to the point where your skin was going to crack. But the only thing that we were thinking about was how we were going to climb out.
They're determined to escape their prison, or die in the attempt. Nikki's been told that Sonia must be dead. But she can't stop herself scanning the terrain for any sign of her sister.
You put your hand where I put mine. I'll follow you. You ready? Don't look down.
By some miracle, Nikki has stumbled across Sonia and Marnie amid hundreds of square kilometers of wilderness.
It's my sister!
It was just absolutely euphoric. We were over the moon. I think we looked at each other and we hugged each other and we thought, thank God.
They were laughing and happy and crying, and it was amazing.
We made it, Marnie. We made it.
The word relief is an understatement.
The helicopter rushes Sonia and Marnie to safety. By some miracle, Jordan survives the night. As dawn breaks, he draws on his final ounce of strength and determination. Severely dehydrated and slowly dying of his injuries, he forces himself to go on in a last desperate bid for life.
My plan on the fourth day was to get as close as I could to where people might chance upon me. I was that close to death. All I could think was just keep pulling.
The temptation to curl up and let go is overwhelming, but Jordan refuses to go quietly.
It probably took me around 2 hours to get about 20 yards, so I was only maybe going 5-6 feet at a time and then passing out for 10 or 15 minutes. The physical reality had set in, and there was really no more mind over matter to be had. There was no way I was going to get to the trailhead, or very much further for that matter, because the distance I was able to go before passing out was just getting shorter and shorter. I was actually going to die very soon.
Then he hears voices. He thinks the sound is hikers on a nearby trail.
Help me, please.
It was my first real chance of rescue.
Please help me.
I yelled as loud as I could to attract their attention.
Help. Help.
But Jordan's yells emerge as barely a whisper.
Help me, please.
The voices melt away into the trees.
It just seemed like it was just the cruelest joke. I was thinking that was my chance. That was it. The despair I felt at getting so close to being rescued, I've never felt that much bleakness in my life.
He starts to slip in and out of consciousness, dreams and reality blurring into one another. The sounds of voices return, just meters away.
I started yelling again. I just yelled and yelled at them.
This time, Jordan can actually see hikers through the trees. But they're getting further away.
Every step they were taking my survival with them.
Please help me!
The last two people in the group were probably about 2 steps away from being out of sight behind these trees. And there was a lady in an orange rain jacket, and I could see her stop and sort of cock her head, and she obviously had heard something. She started looking around and took a few steps back in my direction and finally saw me. As soon as she saw me, I can't even describe how relieved I was. I just watched them run towards me and just thought to myself, well, I've done my part, I'm your problem now. It was beyond joy, it was beyond anything. This was a chance at life again here.
You hear me? You hear me?
Jordan's 4-day ordeal would have finished most people, but his stubborn refusal to give up saved his life.
I came as close as you can get, I think, to dying, and it looked like I was gonna make it.
Jordan was treated for a ruptured pancreas and internal hemorrhaging, injuries that could have killed him within hours. In a series of operations, surgeons fixed Jordan's shattered pelvis using 12-centimeter long titanium screws. He also needed major skin grafts to his legs and hands.